it does for the Tron decks and how it just perfectly fixes the mana and leads to it being able to do shenanigans like this. So we took it out before to knock it down a notch or two, and it just didn't seem like it was really keeping up with anything. And with how much faster the format has gotten in the last few years, we figured, yeah, why not? Let's give it a shot and see if it bumps up the Tron lists to have a little more fair game in the greater metagame at the moment.
I love the band philosophy of yeah, why not? I I totally. This looks sick. I love that you can splash for Rolling Thunder in your colorless deck.
That's how the semis was won. I think it was just super grindy. I think Alex was at 20, and 3 towers and a bunch of other mana, and he just Rolling Thunder to close it out.
Four towers, 2 mines, 2 power plants, and a bunch of others.
55 burgers, 55 hot dogs. And
55 flickers, 55 mold drifters.
55 trillion cards drawn.
That's what you get when the player ahead of you in the standings pays for your deck list.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So, is it time to show the other one where I can just make my Wonderwall joke?
Oh yes, let's pull. Okay, where is it?
All right.
Anyway,
folks,
here we go.
So anyway, here's Wonderwalls.
Boom, Page Smith, everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesse, if you're not familiar with this list, it'd honestly be kind of weird if you weren't familiar with Pauper, but you were like, yeah, I know Walls combo.
No, I do. I mean, I'm familiar with the archetypes. I'm aware of Walls combo with Axebane Guardian and.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
You got the Dominar United card at Tutor, right? Shield Wall Sentinel.
Yes.
I know the broad strokes. I just have never played it's been a very long time since I've actually played Pauper.
So then what you do is you utilize Freed from the Real and what's the other card? Galvanic Alchemist, and it continuously untaps your Axebane Guardian, and you make infinite mana, which you could then use to either go infinite with dealing damage via Valakut Invoker, dealing damage with or forcing an opponent to lose life, I believe, with Secret Door, continuously going through the one dungeon. The name of it escapes me.
Pendelver?
I think so.
The Lost Tomb of Phandelver.
Yeah.
It's the one from the Acerak combo.
Yes. So it's the same thing here. You just go through and just loop and kill your opponent eventually. So, and then there's different ways to find it. Interesting to see Vivian's Grizzly is still being played. I'm surprised the deck hasn't leaned a little more into the new 2-drop from Aether Drift. The name escapes me, but it's basically Vivian's Grizzly, but it finds permanents, not just creatures, like Vivian's Grizzly does. So that could mean you could find certain critical cards. Let's say you're comboing off with your Alchemist, right? Or maybe you're not comboing, but you have enough mana to go activate this card multiple times. You can then potentially find your Freed from the Real and then combo off with that, whereas you can't do that with Vivian's Grizzly.
Beast Rider Vanguard. I just found it.
That is correct.
Has won me many a game of
I don't know
Aether Drift Limited. I mean, I will say, I feel like Pauper players, over the past few kind of releases, are pretty cynical. Did my internet drop? Can you guys still hear me? Sorry, OBS is giving me warnings.
I fully respect a cynical deck building process. These newfangled cards. They made Vivian's Grizzly a 2-drop. I'm not interested. Does it matter that Vivian's Grizzly has 3 toughness instead of 2? Is that something that matters in this deck?
I wouldn't think so, because then all of your removal spells are like Lightning Bolt, Galvanic Blast, things like that.
There's no toughness matters thing going on though. That
No,
Not really,
not
no.
terribly.
Okay, so it sounds like it just would be better to have the 2-drop, but nevertheless, Mike can say scoreboard because here we are.
And looks like, yeah, Mike going to 6. I don't think Walls really cares about like how big your opening hand is. I mean, it's kind of with a lot of combo decks, you just kind of keep mulliganing until you're like, okay, I have it.
How fast is Wall's Goldfish?
I think turn 3.
Pretty quickly, I believe. Yeah, I think it
Turn
can go
3,
off turn
Jesus
3.
Christ. Wow. Okay.
With like the right setup, because you can go Kieran Ranger, and then set it up with like Ceruli Caretaker.
Yep. Oh, and Mike going to 5. Oh dear.
Waltz is weirdly one of those spots where me as an Elves aficionado, I actually haven't played against or I haven't actually like piloted Walls very much at this point. Put together recently, but it's definitely a fun one. I really like it.
Yeah, it's definitely a
Very
goofy
cool
little
card.
Yeah. I don't know. We
The
used to
deck,
have
I mean.
he moved away unfortunately, but one of our local players was just exclusively a Walls combo player. So I don't know, it was always a treat dying on turn 3 every once in a while.
All right, chat's got us here. Chat's hooked us up with the reasoning behind Beast Rider Vanguard. Again, I'm not a Walls expert necessarily, but I like this logic points. The fact that Beast Rider is a 2-drop is actually a downside because you can't transmute it for it with Drift of Phantasms, and also there is the weird edge cases, right, where it doesn't the Grizzly doesn't die to Breath Weapon. Not that I would imagine that your typical deck doesn't really want to be keeping in breath weapons against Walls because the average toughness is so high, but it is still a relevant point.
Yeah, I do think more and more. I mean, and I think maybe now that Kuldotha has been banned, since like just goblins are going to be slowly kind of being phased out. But for the longest time, people were playing 2 main deck breath weapons. I know there's like a lot of like is it Scred lists that have that main deck breath weapon. It comes in handy.
I'm sure that's a factor, but it does seem like just being searchable off of Drift of Phantasms is like the main thing.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So we can start to see that it's really setting up here. You've got the Caretaker can tap down or tap for multiple mana, plus the Cured Ranger can untap it to make even to allow even more mana to happen here.
Yeah, and I do
Pretty
like
close to Natural Talon.
Yeah, that too. I think Mike's kind of mindset going into this, in other matches, he may be hesitant to put a lot of those kind of weaker creatures on here, out on the board early, but he knows that Cassidy just doesn't have much interaction. So you feel safe with your Kyrian Rangers and your like Orochi Leaf Collar for filtering and stuff like that. You're not concerned necessarily about kind of the things that live on the board. You're more concerned about just like resolving combo pieces.
And we were talking about the breath weapon being a bit of a detractor, and how breath weapon's not as good in the Walls match. Well, if a breath weapon happened to hit right here, right now, might be bad news bears.
It would end Mike's whole career.
Can Cassie find? Does he have like a tutor for the Rolling Thunder?
Oh, lead Stampede.
No, because the Mystical Teachings is just an instant, so he can't find it off. He can't find the Rolling Thunder with it.
That lead Stampede is coming next turn. Got there.
Yeah, I mean, I know in the quarterfinals, Mike was at 3 up against John on Demir Ferries. Ripped a no cards in hand, ripped a Winding Way, ripped 2 combo pieces, and closed out the match, I think.
Yep, that's an easy prohibit right there.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. Those prohibits, are only going to get kind of worse and worse. Oh, no, because prohibit is a hard counter. I don't know why I thought it was a soft counter.
Yeah. It's not mana leak.
Or miscal.
We love a cycling moment on a counter.
Oh yeah. I was petitioning them to print miscal for the standard for so long, but instead we got mana leak.
Oh, Miscalcon Standard would be so fun. I was about to be like, yes, what do you guys think about Standard right now? I'm like, this is not the place for that. No, we are.
No.
No.
I think there's too many uncommons and rares in Standard right now. That's how I feel.
We need commons and mythics.
Revealed.
Yeah.
I think there was another 2 Mole Drifters in there.
Some more island cycling.
There's Lorien revealed.
There we go. He's getting a green mana source, I guess. No, just another basic.
So how many pieces off is the wall clear from just winning?
Well, we need the Axebane Guardian down first and foremost. That's a pretty important one.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a 3-part
combo. Maybe
combo.
just have dead air at the moment.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, essentially for the walls combo, right? Go ahead.
Overgrown Battlement can definitely start looking pretty good here, though. Oh, Tron's online.
Oh, there we go. But yeah, I mean, he has the battlement and the leaf collar, which can filter. So, I mean, he's
so
kind of 1 out of 3 combo pieces.
Yeah, and you have 3 defenders currently. So, if you end up with a Freed from the Real or Galvanic Alchemist, excuse me, it's pretty easy still to set yourself up to go off just with the mana filtration.
Yeah, I mean, you only need to net 1 mana off of the untap.
See, Monarch Wall, that's coming down here right now. Prohibit's back.
Yep. So I'm like 20 feet away from the the play table, and I can hear Cassidy flicking his cards on the table. It is so loud. And there's like people in the store as well.
I mean, I can help with that. Interesting that the Axebane Guardian was a lot of resolve, though. Suppose we're just holding back the counter magic just for the actual core pieces of the combo that, the creatures themselves don't do very much. If there's just a bunch of mana dorks, okay, right? Until we actually see combo pieces coming down, then we have to deal with that.
Yeah, I do like, kind of the amount of, what's the word for it? Like, I guess patience that Cassidy is exhibiting in this instance.
Agreed. Tron deck
It would have come.
things.
It would have come at the cost of mystical teachings this turn, right? Is that the? He's just prioritizing getting his ephemerate going and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. The Tron deck will usually stick it out and wait until the end step, and then cast a bunch of stuff on the end step.
Yeah. I think setting up the prohibit lock is worth letting them have the Axebane Guardian. That makes sense to me.
Absolutely. And that Moments piece can go right to the bin because it sure isn't doing anything in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, for kind of context of deck building here, with the mystical teaching, in regards to the mystical teachings, and also just doing everything on your opponent's end step, 21 instants compared to just 5 sorceries in the Tron deck, 4 of which are just Lorien revealed. So maybe you're cycling half of those.
You're gonna obviously do the real line, right? You're gonna go teachings for teachings.
That's what winners
hell
do.
Yeah. That's the moves.
Teaching for teachings, flicker back your other teachings, go for another teachings, just teachings all the way down.
Does Mike have moves here? It seems like the prohibit ephemerate mnemonic wall lock is pretty disgusting in this matchup.
Yeah, I don't think there's really too much that can be done here in the long run. I can maybe see a few things trying to just force through with, even if you can't go for the full combo play, right? You only have 1 Galvanic Alchemist and 1 Freed from the Real, so at some point you just lose that. At some point that you can maybe potentially go for just there are still 3 Generous Scents in the deck, and if you just start bringing the beats, that if you have enough
Start
mana,
bonking.
just gas them, then just big dudes just coming in hot.
And that's when the moment's piece will be back. That's when that'll matter.
Yeah, I don't think Mike has many graveyard exiling effects in the wall combo. I don't think there's like any at all. Well, there's a Fairy Macabre in the sideboard.
Yes, 2 Fairy Macabres in the sideboard. Also, it's not really graveyard heat so much, but there are 2 Mirror Shell Crabs out of the sideboard that can be brought in to act as counter spells, which also can't be countered then.
We'll definitely be seeing those coming in, I think.
Yeah, they're a little dicey once you get into late game. The Tron deck just has so much mana that it's kind of irrelevant. But at that point, you can also, again, just be another huge beater if the game comes to that point. But otherwise, it can just act as an early counter spell just to make sure that you're able to set up your game plan and win the game.
Yeah, can't be countered unless they have 3 mana, in which case they'll counter it by paying 3 mana.
Yeah, I mean, a soft counter on in either of these decks is kind of moot.
But even then, sometimes it's still relevant to make them pay the 3, even if they have it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then it doesn't give them access to further counter magic or other stuff to set up future counter magic locks. Kind of like what we're seeing now at this point in the game.
Absolutely.
So I can't see exactly what Mike has in his hand, but it is blue. So yeah, I think he's really just kind of looking for the right moments to... Oh, okay. There he goes. Trying to resolve the
We're going
Alchemist,
for it.
And there's the Prohibit.
What will Alex do here? Or Mike do here? Excuse me. We're gonna see some more nonsense. Do we have what is the other card in the hand? Rift. Okay, so now we can go and find Freed from the Real and set ourselves up. It might not be able to like go off and do anything in that sense, but it can dig out the Freed from the Real, cast the Freed from the Real now, and set up the board state to where if we find any win condition, then it sets up a potential situation where Cassidy is forced. Oh, Reaping the Graves. Ooh, I like this one. Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
So now you can, with the storm
hell
count,
yeah.
storm count is at 4, if I counted correctly. I may have missed an earlier play, but I know we had the yeah, so we had three copies there. And now we can potentially go off.
Let's go. Oh, this is so sick.
Oh, I think he's
Reaping the Graves.
Can do it. Yeah.
So Alchemist can then untap. Okay, so I got 1 mana.
Has he
Alchemist
used
requires
the
3
Kyrian
mana,
Ranger
however,
yet?
I'm not sure if the Kyrian Ranger has been used at this point. I don't think so, though.
I mean, even if he has to wait a turn, like Cassidy's only out is Rolling Thunder. Oh, this is tense.
So it looks like we're good. There's the Kyrian Ranger activation. And now we get to go off. Infinite Mana is online.
All right, transmuting.
Drift of Phantasms finds
Wow.
a probably a kill condition here.
Incredible. Me 30 seconds ago. Does Mike even have moves here?
And there's that drift for the Vivian's Grizzly that we were saying. Yep.
And there's game
and there it is.
one
That
going
locks
to
it
the-
up.
Wow.
That was,
out of nowhere.
that was
Never-
very well played.
I will never discount Mike or Wall's combo again.
That was extremely well played. When that looked like such a perfect, excellent setup for Cassidy, and Mike was able to navigate through it for the win, that was awesome.
That bait spell to set up the Reaping the Graves was really nice.
Yeah, because I think he needed every one of that storm count to pop off. Yeah, so good.
And the best part is, even if there was no counter magic, still probably would have just gone off anyway.
Yeah, I think, even if he had to wait a turn, I think he still would have had it. All right, and for everyone watching at home who's maybe just tuning in, these matches are best of 5. So the first 2 games are unsideboarded, and then game 3 and onwards will be post-sideboard. So players are just shuffling up the same 60 they had last game. So Jesse, let's say you come down to Hex & Co. on Tuesday. What deck are you bringing?
Pauper?
Yeah, Pauper deck. Yeah, sorry. Let's say you just came to a GameSpot on a random Tuesday. Yeah, you come to our Pauper weeklies. What are you bringing?
Great. So I was pretty excited to build the Brute Scale combo deck before it got banned. So I've been trying to figure out what I would want to do instead, and I'm a fan of the Ephemerate counterspell lock, so maybe some sort of Jeskai Ephemerate thing.
And that's why you're the GOAT. I've been Jeskai pilled for the past month and a half. Oh
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I literally just unsleeved my my Brood Scowl deck. I have been terrorizing my local scene with that, and won the Upstate New York Open last month with it as well. I had an absolutely absurd win rate with the deck, and
Yeah, it seems disgusting.
So across several months, little 3-rounders. In as far as paper play goes, my match record at the end, by the time the ban happened, was 43-4, which is by my math a 91.49% win rate.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it kind of is. So, and more importantly, even though the deck was important, or was definitely showing okay numbers online, it was definitely a lot higher on paper, but also it just wasn't very fun. But with that out of the way, we are back in the game here. There are 2 Tron lanes already on board here.
Yeah, I mean, an early Tron is. I think it just goes like a really, really long way in this matchup.
Sure
did
does.
this-
I saw another power plant in there, and it looked like a Lorien revealed.
He went Tronland Island last game as well, but hopefully he's able to get Tron online a little bit faster this time around.
Maybe
Woohoo,
we need a deck check.
Overgrown Battlement already down. That Overgrown Battlement, that's going to put in some work here really soon.
I mean, it's like vintage players talking about Tolarian Academy. It's like, how much mana does Tolarian Academy need to generate to be broken? And the answer is just 2. And I think, yeah, same with same with all of Mike's mana dorks. Oh, another.
The question is, does that resolve? Ooh, we're digging. We're looking for the answer. So an Energy Refractor and a Tron piece, don't know what was put in the hand there.
Oh, it looks like he
There's
found
Prohibit.
it.
Still got 3 mana. There's the Vivian's Grizzly. It's a Moment's Piece. Tron is online. Energy Refractor coming down, looks like. Yep, drawing some cards. There's a Ghostly Flicker.
Also worth noting, Cassidy does have the Rolling Thunder in hand as kind of like a, the nuclear option, so to speak, if Mike just develops too much value.
Mike has a lot going on in that hand. Yeah, there's the Generous, and I saw look like a Drift of Phantasms, which obviously Mike can just use these battlements, or the battlement here, filter it down with the Leaf Collar, and do the Drift of Phantasms line. There's also the Shield Wall Sentinel, so can tutor up whatever defenders we need here.
Oh, it looks like probably gonna. Well, now the question is, what does he tutor for? Does he get an Axebane just to generate more mana, or does he get something he can transmute?
I'm liking the Drift of Phantasms, personally. I like the ability then to set up. All right, looks like we're digging around, probably finding some more answers. We got second Prohibit in the deck, so probably going for that second Prohibit. It went straight into the bin, so I'm guessing that's the other Prohibit. It's hard to see with that glare. We are in the finals, by the way, folks, for those just tuning in now. We got Walls combo, aka Wonder Walls, against Flickertron, Ephemeratron, Fogtron, whatever you want to call it.
I call it Wondertron.
Wonderwall versus Wondertron. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like the biggest first like big tournament, kind of post ban. So, I mean, whatever you guys say, just whatever you say is just it's canon now for for the next 3 months.
Yeah. I always try to commentate a Pauper finals every 3 months so that I can name all the decks before anyone else gets a chance to.
I mean, we will have
Rolling Thunder.
Oh yeah, there's the Rolling Thunder, and we should have another final in 3 or 4 months. So, yeah, you're welcome back, if only just to name decks.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we'll have Paige to say what's actually happening on the match, and then me to say, and this is Wondertron, and this is Wonder Fairies.
Interesting line there, going for the Vivian's Grizzly. Look at the top, try and find something, and going in for some attacks. Surprised we didn't try and filter down, transmute the Drift of Phantasms for something.
Well, Mike does have the Valakut Invoker in hand, I believe, so he has the payoff. I think he's just maybe, realizing he can be a little more patient, looking for the untapping piece.
And more Tron lands. I see Prism, Lorien revealed, Muldrifter in hand on Cassidy's side. Breath Weapon.
Yeah, do you fire off this breath weapon right now?
Kills 2 creatures. That is a big deal.
It would kill 3 if Mike had the other one, the 2/2.
No, he's committing to the Muldrifter. So
Just casting.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see those breath weapons then.
And it's important to note here, Cassidy is tapped out. Interesting. I was freed from the reels in hand too, it looks like. Either that or that's the Drift of Phantasms, and I was confusing them.
I think it is a drift. I think I saw some pips at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I don't know, Cassidy, in the grand scheme, the grand scheme of this matchup, presenting some pressure with 2 Muldrifters.
Toss that Moment's Peace straight away.
Yeah. Could be worse, though. Could just be like
I don't
a
think
couple
that's
of...
doing very much here.
The Muldrifters are one thing. It's worse when it's just a single Augur of Bolus on the field. Just like one, take one, take one.
Ghostly Flicker nonsense.
Yeah, just flickering those prisms, Oh, and wow. Okay, just going to game 2. Or game 3, sorry. Yeah, I think Mike just kind of realized he was in the lock. He wasn't going to be able to resolve anything.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but sometimes that just happens. These creature combo decks, that is always usually a problem. I mean, as a longtime Elves player myself, there's a lot of times where you'll just get stuck with just all of your mana dorks, and there's just nothing you can really do with them.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. So let's take a look at some sideboarding. Yeah, what do you all think is coming in? What's coming out for Mike's walls?
Oh, let's see here. Let's have a looky. I think Fairy Macabre definitely seems like an instant bring those in. I definitely think the Mirror Shell Crab, even if it doesn't do a ton, it still can be enough to just set yourself up. Potentially bringing in the Bloodright Invoker as well, just as another kill condition, just to make, force through any counter magic. Not sure what to bring out, though. I'm always bad with these combo decks just because there's so much going on in the decks that without having actually played the deck, it's hard to know exactly what to take out because there's only so much you can really take out.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse, do you have any general insight on sideboarding a combo deck?
My guess is you can trim on certain mana dorks, like I don't know if you need these Elvish Mystics for example, when I'm piloting a combo deck, games, post-board games tend to be a lot grindier. So you're gonna have to fight through a lot more interaction, and your top decks, top decking a random mana dork or a random thing that makes you go faster in game 1, but requires a lot of things to be going right, is pretty brutal post-board. So I would probably be looking to trim on any of the like sort of blue cards that you don't want to draw too many of them, or they're less important if the game's going to like turn 12 or 50 or whatever turn you go to against Tron. It seems like it could go pretty late.
Yeah, I think 50 was about right.
There is also a potential world where you would look at bringing in stuff like Crimson Acolyte, Tameo Safekeeping, Rapid Vigor, just if you're looking to deal with any spot removal, anything like that. But again, Tron isn't really known for that. Like maybe you might want to bring in like something just as a means of protecting against, say, Rolling Thunder. But again, Breath Weapon is really a non-factor here. It's just kind of it was in the games there just because they were pre-board. But I would imagine that Tron probably takes those out just because they don't do as much against the majority of what Wall's combo is trying to do.
Yeah, so let's look at Cassidy's deck list, and yeah, I mean, little. I just, again, it's just kind of hard to board against them. I think we're going to see those prohibits, and that's about it.
You might want the Red Blast.
I was going to say, I think
counter.
Red Elemental Blast to counter certain of the combo pieces, but I wouldn't expect very much. Maybe 1 or 2 copies rather than the full 4. This is definitely not a deck where you want all 4 of those, but 1 or 2. Maybe trim some other cards like that. Weather the Storm in your deck is not going to do anything here, because it's an infinite kill condition, right? So the life doesn't generally matter at that point. Maybe probably cut the Breath Weapon. Maybe trim down the Moments pieces. They're not always relevant, but again, if the Generous Ents stick around post board, which I would imagine those are probably easy trims as well to a certain degree. If those stick around, then that provides a means of forcing combat damage still, and then the Moments piece becomes relevant there. So there is still certain potential points where you still want some Moments piece, but you definitely probably want to be trimming down those quite heavily.
There's also a lot of value in the first copy of your Red Blast to get off of Misspell Teaching. So
absolutely, just goes a long way, especially because again, the Walls combo only has really 2-3 relevant cards that they're actually looking to cast as blue cards, right? You're usually not actually casting Drift of Phantasms, you're transmuting it. There are worlds where obviously you do want to cast it, but you usually don't.
I don't know. I just keep staring at this, and I'm just like, what about this? Well, no, no, not quite. So I think it's going to be some very interesting board games. Let's see how they're doing over there. All right, yep, looks like they're boarded, and they're just shuffling up now.
Also, it's not the most relevant comparatively, I think, but there are still 5 artifacts on Michael's side of the board here. So between the 1 of Secret Door, the 1 of Crashing Drawbridge, and 3 Shield Wall Sentinels. So even just like maybe potentially an Ancient Grudge, right? You're not looking to hit too much again, but it's still probably going to, just having that extra removal spell probably goes a little bit further than these copies of Moments pieces against a deck that's not trying to really kill you by combat damage.
Good, very good point.
I'm sure the Moments piece are the first things to come out.
That and Weather the Storm would be my first guess.
I've just been informed that was Mike's first loss all day. He's been 2-0-6-0 up until this point.
That's incredibly based.
So get ready to see a Walls combo ban in the next the next BNR.
Yeah. Mike said, "I ain't losing.
No, he's
sit here and shuffle up Walls combo while we're doing this. Just sitting here do some more gold fishing.
get all your transmute lines down. Transmute to Reaping the Graves. Oh yeah.
That's how we do it. Not realistically, I'm going to stick it out over here playing some elves and doing the distant melodies like it's 2018.
So, do you guys think High Tide's gonna be good?
So, me personally, speaking as a Pauper format panel member, a big reason we were willing to try the deck out and let it be is we did some tests and tried out a few lists, and because I actually have a history. I used to play a bit of Legacy High Tide in the early 2010s and realized that when Unification was gearing up to happen, I was like, well, what if High Tide was here? And I gave it some tries, and I was just like, this feels like a bad Familiars deck. And so we, did some further testing with that. Saw some of the Twiddle Storm decks that people had worked on prior to any potential unban. They were just like talking about it. It's like, this deck seems very fragile. It seems like there's better ways to do combo decks. So obviously everybody's trying it right now. It put up 2 top 8 results yesterday, but the combo versions have only put up a single other 5-0 list in the whole week where everybody's been trying it. So the deck is definitely playable, and it's definitely got some legs to it to some degree. Whether or not it's going to be a top deck or just a tier 2-ish deck, which is was kind of the hope to begin with, remains to be seen. It's only the first week. My personal thought, I don't think it's the best deck. I think there's just a lot of hype behind it right now, but it's going to be interesting to see how things play out in the next few weeks. And decks like Walls Combo and Tron can definitely put it on the back foot. And I mean, look at just how quickly this Walls deck is going off. Tron player has 2 Tron pieces online already. You can see that there is the Red Elemental Blast, as we were saying. So Breath Weapon still kept in as well. Ooh, and we got the 3rd Tron land because there is a crop rotation.
And there it is. So it does have that Sea Gate.
Tron is online.
I can only assume he named... I don't know what the other color he named with that Sea Gate is.
Given the cards in hand, I would be surprised if it wasn't red.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see the cards in his hand. Yeah, that's a good point.
Also, if it wasn't red, then if it was green, then he would have just had that. So,
A ton
Mike has
of
all the mana in the world.
Yeah.
who would win, 3 Tron lands or a bunch of defenders?
Well, we're seeing the Prohibit happening now. Jesse, you like a good Eternal format. So how do you feel about Tron or High Tide, excuse me, since we're on that topic?
I love drafting Storm in Vintage Cube, and so I have a soft spot for High Tide for that reason.
Big fan.
I spent maybe 10-15 minutes trying to put together a High Tide list in my head after the unban announcement, and then I gave up. And that's basically, it sums up how I feel about it. It seems like it's very cool and maybe not necessarily quite good enough. But I hope I'm wrong.
We did have someone bring, I think it was just like their own brew of it this last Tuesday. I think they went 3-0 with it. It was apparently like some blue-black something or other, just like extremely resilient to interaction. Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I love the idea of splashing black for mystical teaching in it, but I don't know if that's better than just playing Merchant Scroll.
I think also it's you get Snuff Out as well.
Yes,
Which-
that seems big.
Yeah, it's buys you can
Better
buy you a few turns to combo off.
We're doing some transmuting here. Very curious what we're transmuting here. Because that red elemental blast is just sitting in that hand, ready and raring to go.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a real kind of some insight into how much, like, foresight Mike has as to, is he taking into account how Cassidy is sideboarding, or is Mike, still kind of stuck in pre-board thinking? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, he is in it right now.
In the tank. So 4 mana open. Interesting. Finds another drift. Ooh, I like this line. So what I'm feeling here is it seems like we're going to. Oh, impulse. Interesting. My guess, what we're gonna see is we're gonna see another drift transmute. We're going for the Reaping the Graves now. I was expecting the Reaping the Graves, go for another drift and find some stuff, but no, we're just setting it up like this instead.
Yeah, I think he's just taking advantage of just the kind of the free storm count from Cassidy there.
We got another impulse there. So 2 coming in hot.
Cassidy in the lead by 1 life.
So we definitely have impulse. There's a drifter, breath weapon, red elemental blast.
And I think a Lorien revealed as well.
I saw another blue card in there.
Yeah, drifter, impulse, red blast, breath weapon, Lorien revealed.
Yep.
And in Mike's hand, green. Oh, there's blue. No, he definitely has those 2 drifter phantasms. I think he might have another Axebane in hand.
Yeah, because he picked up the Axebane with the Reaping the Graves.
Right.
This is going to be interesting, though, if we see these drifts start getting set up. I like this because it's also playing around the red elemental blast, right? Because now you can double transmute, find both the secret door, or I'm sorry, you can find because the Invoker's in hand, right? Or was that last game?
That was last game. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Okay. But so you can find the Invoker, but you could also just find both Freed from the Real and Galvanic Alchemist, right? So you fight through the.
Oh, some redundancy. Yeah, I like that line as well.
Yeah. So then you're fighting through the red elemental blast that probably came in, or just other counter magic in general.
Yeah, to just different ways of doing it really kind of shows just how many different paths Walls combo has to kind of reach the desired result.
Okay, that's interesting. We kept in the Weather the Storm? Huh.
That is really odd.
That card feels kind of just dead in this matchup. So it's very interesting to see that still in here.
I mean, unless he's anticipating the generous Ent beatdown, but we haven't seen any sign of it yet.
Right, and that seems like a very unlikely line. Like if we hit that point, we're kind of in desperation mode. But as they say, play to your outs. Sometimes beaters just get there. I had modern RCQ that I played last year with Nadu, and got the Nadus exiled with surgical extractions. Still managed to win with just creature beatdowns. So sometimes even if your core combo just gets shut down, you got those alternate ways to win. You gotta go for them.
It is nice to just have a 5/7 in play when things are going poorly, but it feels like, as we saw with the Tron versus the mono black deck, like it's just like I don't know, your big creatures are not necessarily going to be crossing the finish line in this matchup.
Right.
Very true.
And something that's good too with those the generous ends is that it comes in with the food token, so helps keep you in there a little longer, and it has reach as well, which means it can block these bowl drifters.
That
Yeah.
seems like definitely
Yes,
the
I was
most
about to say
important
that.
part of that card.
Now, the most important part is obviously the food token. Come on now.
Yeah. I forgot how generous those ents were.
For like the bulk of this past league season, I was just playing this like just horrid pet deck of like
All right.
generous and a bunch of different like food artifacts and cauldron familiars and like crypt rats and pestilence and all this stuff.
I love the dedication to that deck, but I think we're gonna see a fight going on here. We're gonna see if we could try and get there.
Oh, here we go.
There's that redundancy that we were talking about before. Oh, had the prohibit.
Oh. Alright, second transmute. Cassidy is tapped out.
So we can't do the infinite line anymore here. Right, the Reaping the Graves is in the graveyard. At this point, the line might just be find your... We're going for the...
Other battlements?
Yeah. We went for battlements? Are we able to do that?
That was...
Yeah, wait, that's a...
odd.
What got put in the hand? It looked like battlements, but I'm...
Let me go ask Jen.
Folks watching at home, you can only transmute the same mana cost, which in this case is 3, so you can't get anything less than that.
I do think it was a battlement because he then went and cast it with the 2 mana remaining, right?
I think so. That's what it looked like, but better to be sure than to let it go on too long and have to do a bunch of rewinding and all of that.
Yeah, so that transmute that he just put in the graveyard was for the free from the real. It wasn't for the battlements, just came from hand, I believe. That's what I was told.
The sequencing there definitely looked a little odd, but
yeah, it was very they have plenty of eyes on the match, so.
Teaching's out the other breath weapon. Okay. So Cassidy did bring in the other breath weapons then, and I'm guessing it's just trying to hope to cast off multiples of them at once to just wipe the board fully, which will work here.
Yeah, I mean, he does hit his own Muldrifters, but I don't hate the line. Because then Mike is left with just nothing.
Yep. And it looked like there was a that a Macabre in hand, or was that Bloodright Invoker?
And there's the second one.
Pew, 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 pew. That board is gone.
Wow. You never expect the dragon to breathe twice.
When it happens, oh boy, is it a doozy.
There is nothing more
Are-
I love than casting Lorien Revealed on an empty board.
It does feel very nice of just like, look, none of us have anything, but at least I have 3 more cards than you do.
4 creatures? Nah, couldn't get the 4 creatures.
Alright, slow
Another
rebuild.
1 man. Another 1 mana is to go for. Okay, so it's a Macabre in hand. We're doing graveyard checks. Yep.
I don't
Getting
hate
rid of
those
those
hits.
teachings in the prohibit. I think it's a really good choice there. Stops any potential flicker nonsense to go for some locks, as well as tutoring out any either counter magic or kill conditions. Not that you can go for the Rolling Thunder, but you can just set yourself up for other lines. Draw more cards and things of that nature.
Is the Rolling Thunder in the graveyard? Or is it still in his deck?
I believe I've seen it so far. Pulse of Marasa.
I think the old border red card is a red elemental blast in the yard.
Correct.
Yeah, otherwise hitting the Rolling Thunder would have been quite good.
Yeah, I can't imagine it is in the graveyard, because if it was, then Mike definitely would have hit it. I mean, especially him being at 10. That's rip a Rolling Thunder and it's over.
There's another crop rotation, looks like. We got all 4 towers, though. So I don't know how much we really want to be using that crop rotation here at this point in the game.
It would be to find a Bajuka Bog, I assume, but if the Reclaim the Grave's already gone, that's no longer necessary.
Alright, just looking at some cards. No hits. Impulse is a good card. I'm not sure why I'm not playing it more.
I mean, few cards get a day 1 errata.
Mostly ones that get misprinted.
For those of you who are not aware, the original Visions printing of Impulse says on the printed card to shuffle your deck after putting the cards on the bottom of your deck, which just doesn't really make any sense. So it was errated to remove that shuffle your library afterwards line.
Bit of a Knight Errant of Eos templating.
That is a very funny one. Every time I've had that come up and just a player doesn't realize that they have to shuffle their entire deck, it's always a bag of laughs.
Yeah,
That was a case, I think, of the Knight Errant having too much text on it, so they just were like, and just shuffle at the end. Don't.
That's always been my thought.
Yeah, that was my standard deck for the past few months. But I'm like a dirty little arena grinder, so like when I like finally like bought it in paper, I was just like so stressed the first time I played in paper. I was like, God, I hope I resolve this correctly. Like I don't want to fuck this up.
Yeah.
That's how
It's
I always feel
very
whenever I play
mechanically-
elves.
Convoke is a very mechanically confusing deck. I love
Elves.
Mike's got a full house on his side.
Oh yeah. Yeah, elves is always a doozy to play because it's so easy to play online because all the triggers just stack themselves. But in paper, oh look, I've got my copies of Elvish Vanguard with Essence Warden and Lissalana Huntmaster, so I'm having to track like, oh, and every time I cast a thing, I also have to untap stuff with Nettle Sentinel, or untap the Nettle Sentinels because I'm casting stuff. And now the deck isn't playing Nettle Sentinel very much at this point, or Lissalana Huntmaster, thankfully. But for a while there, you would just have to track like a dozen triggers at a time. But we have our game here, and we are now going to game number 4.
Has the potential to be the last game. Just updating that on the stream.
Sure does. Looks like Cassie has been quite ready to deal with the wall stack.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's been a known entity in the local scene. You know, Cassidy usually playing like some sort of Demir fairies, but has been switching to Tron and kind of running the tables the past few weeks. So nice to see it pay off for him.
Yeah, for sure. And Walls has definitely proven to be quite popular. It's both been definitely a winner in the early Magic Online results this week. It's also been showing up. I know at least locally, when I played in the upstate New York event, there were quite a bit of Walls players there, and I would imagine a lot of them even came from your area here, which would include potentially some of the Walls players like Mike.
Yeah, I think maybe we had 1 or 2 people come up. I'm not entirely certain though. Although, Paige, are you going to be coming down for the Pauper Open on May 25th?
So, I want to. Unfortunately, I am also attending Regional Championship Hartford. So, and that is 1 week prior. So 2 weeks of travel back to back is definitely a little rough.
That's
so,
rough. Yeah.
I definitely want to, but it's just a matter of am I feeling up to it?
Very fair. Jesse, do you need to borrow a deck?
I think I might be in a similar boat. I've been considering playing it, but 2 Magic Tournament weekends in a row is a bit much for me at this stage in my
it's brutal.
career or lack thereof. Yeah, but it looks sick. I'm very excited for it. I have some friends I think who are going to be playing in it. So
yeah, I'm trying to start like international beef, like trying to get like like some Italian or some Brazilians.
Get the Europeans.
Like, yeah. Italy, huge Pauper scene. Brazil, also huge Pauper scene. You know, and even just like some people from like Quebec who they're close enough. But I'd love to have some international beef starting.
But it has been interesting. I think it's been actually very good, especially seeing how big Paupergeddon has been. It's really been a huge driver for events like this. Same with like the upstate New York Pauper Open. I know that. And there's some events, I believe, in Philadelphia as well, frequently Binghamton. So there's quite a scene out here in the Northeast here, particularly just New York as a whole. The state, not just the city and all that. So
yeah,
it's been really cool just to see how big it's growing in the area, and it's only getting larger the more time goes on. People are picking it up left and right every week. We started barely getting 8 people at our local tournaments every Sunday. Last week I think we had I don't know how much we had last week, but I think the week prior to that we had like 14 people show up, and it's just constantly growing. There's constantly new people. And one thing that I hear frequently from people is they're always impressed by the high power level of the format. You know, everybody thinks, oh, it's just a format of commons. And what are you really doing with all of that? And then you just see what the decks do, what they get up to. I mean, you see how this Walls deck goes off with its combos, how this Tron deck just locks people out. I mean, I poked my head in here midway through round 1, and we had the Rebel was super enamored by this Tron deck, right? and just was like, man, I just want to pick up Pauper now. I didn't realize that this format could do this kind of stuff. This is awesome. So
It's the best format. It's the best format.
it's really the more people see it and they really see just what the format is capable of, it really becomes a quick draw for them to pick up and try it out.
I firmly believe Pauper is the only format that improves every time a Modern Horizons set hits the legality.
That depends on who you ask, for sure.
I don't know. It's just maybe relative to the other formats. The cards that were added to Pauper seem pretty fun to me.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
I don't think anything. I'm trying to rack my head just to remember. I don't think anything broke with Modern Horizons 1. But Modern Horizons...
Arkham's Astrolabe, right? Arkham's Astrolabe.
Oh, yeah. Arkham's Astrolabe. God, what a card that was.
But we did get the Snowlands reprinted, so it's a little easier to find, your snow islands and your snow mountains for Scred now, which is nice.
And thankfully, Kaldheim definitely helped with that as well.
Yes.
But it was it was definitely a trip once we got into Modern Horizons 2 and Modern Horizons 3. Modern Horizons 1, obviously, Astrolabe was a little harder to define how that card was so good. You look at, again, we just unbanned Prophetic Prism, and a lot of people looked at us weird, like, why was this card on the ban list in the first place? And then you look at Arkham's Astrolabe and go, oh, that card was just way too good.
Yeah.
So,
if Prophetic Prism costs 1 mana, it would be disgusting.
Yeah. My always thought on that was, I thought it would be interesting if you could make an Arkham's Astrolabe, but give it a kicker 1 to make it, to allow, have that be the card draw, and then it's a very different card. So,
Modern Horizons 4.
Yeah, but Modern Horizons 2 obviously brought Chatterstorm and the bridges. The Chatterstorm definitely
Chatterstorm
also
was messed up.
Galvanic Relay as well. Both of those Storm cards have been banned, and the bridges have been continual piece of contention for many players.
I think the bridge plus Cleansing Wildfire combo is pretty sick, though.
Oh,
it is pretty cool.
I love doing that.
And and then Modern Horizons 3 obviously brought us the Basket Brood Scowl combo.
Yeah. Looks like Natural Tron online for Cassidy. Or not natural, but, semi-natural.
It's Tron. That's all we care about. Tron is online.
It's GMO Tron, it's still grown, but it just had a little help.
Yeah. It's not certified organic, but it is GMO.
It's when you're at Whole Foods and there's like the $7 bag of vegetables that says organic, and then there's like the $2 bag of vegetables, and you go, I'm buying that one.
Yeah. You're still getting it from Whole Foods, so like.
Exactly.
Wow, just 5 Tron lands in play now.
Casual Mold Drifter off of 2 lands. No problem.
This has to be like the nut draw out of Tron, right?
Finding another Mold Drifter.
Mold Drifter into Mold Drifter? No, okay. We're not that greedy.
No, you can't do that here.
Yeah, this is a tricky one to
Cassidy's hand looks very good.
Definitely, yeah.
What's on the stack right now? Oh, the
Shield Wall Sentinel, yeah.
Oh, having Ghostly Flicker up also makes sense why you would want to...
3 looks. Find Mystical Teachings, land, and something else. We got Galvanic Alchemist in play here from Michael.
I mean, yeah, at this point, Mike knows, Cassidy doesn't have any counter magic, so he has a little bit of wiggle room here. He doesn't have a ton of mana, but still has some stuff.
And we get our tutor still.
I was like, why is he picking up his deck?
Yeah, looking at the hand, trying to figure out what to get first and foremost, and trying to figure out lines. So, like that. Thinking about that Axebane Guardian. Grabbed a shield, another shield wall.
I think I like the shield wall here. It lets you kind of, I don't know, you don't have to be like as tight with the combo. You know, lets them accrue a little more value.
3 creatures. We got Tuk Rubblefort too. Ooh, I like that. Gives all Michael's creatures haste, so that means all of the mana dorks that come in afterwards can then just tap right away.
And we finally see a Generous Hint as well.
So there's also the potential line here for Kieran Ranger. Kieran Ranger untaps Axebane Guardian, that you have 4 mana or access to 4 mana at that point. Looks like that's what's going to happen. Four mana being utilized for a Vivian's Grisly Look goes to the bottom.
No hits.
And little teachings, finding a breath weapon. Yeah.
So there was a breath weapon already in hand, so we're going for the double breath weapon to just wipe the board.
Yeah. Another good reason not to run out the second Mold Drifter. Thank you.
Good point. You got me there. You got me there.
This turn's gonna probably. I mean, I guess Mike just drew a bunch of cards, but it's gonna be a pretty devastating turn for him.
Yeah, I think, you know, Mike might be having some regrets off of maybe the lines he just took. Now that he can kind of see the double breath weapon coming, but I don't know. We'll see.
Only these defenders were dragons.
I had this awful moment where I like played a breath weapon against this like sliver shapeshifter deck, and I hit like a single creature, and I was like, oh no, it's a mistake you only ever have to make
That's
once.
Unfortunate.
And now he still has 8 mana left over. A casual 8.
Yeah, real
And
casual.
there's no unfortunately there was no like board wipe prevention, right? No Rapid Vigor that may have come in. There was no Tamio safekeeping. Obviously there was no Crimson Acolyte on the board. We know that was brought in. So
Interesting. Evoked this Mold Drifter instead of casting it.
I think another thing worth noting.
evoking is the right thing.
Mike's hand is a bunch of not green things, so it might be a while before he can actually play anything.
Looks like we're doing some force cycling here.
Okay, I lied.
And doing a little, shortcutting here.
Forgot about colorless spells.
It is not a green thing.
So if I had to guess, probably finding Axebane. Yep. If I was in Michael's side, I would definitely be feeling a little safer in casting out the creatures, because even though the breath weapons are there and there is a potential to get them back, it's going to take a lot of effort to actually put those back into the hand. And even though there is a potential 3, right, you could potentially have the third one out of the sideboard still, I wouldn't imagine that we're, you'd want to be playing around that too heavily at this point.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that's crossing Mike's mind, nor Cassidy's. I think it's really a one-time thing. And yeah, now it's just
there's another prohibit there too.
Yep, that's brutal.
Right, so what are we doing here? Discarding down a hand size. What are we tossing? Lorien revealed. Interesting. Show that prohibit. Yep.
I mean, I'd say like, ooh, this is looking rough for Mike, but Cassidy doesn't have like a threat on board. I mean, he has a couple impulses. Looks for your Rolling Thunder to finish it out, but I don't know.
That's a little daring, dropping out those creatures. So now you do have to worry about the Breath Weapon being online.
Oh, and there's the Rolling Thunder.
Rolling Thunder.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a snap keep.
So we've got.
I'll take the Rolling Thunder. It sounds good.
16 mana on board currently.
He's off by 4. He just needs like a tower and one thing else.
There's an island. It's almost a tower.
It's like 1/3 of a tower, or like it's 1.5 towers maybe, because you have the energy refractor.
And there's the Teachings in hand. This is not looking good for Michael at this stage.
Teachings can get crop rot, right? So
he has a crop rot in hand as well. I'm thinking we're maybe a turn or two away from crowning a champion, but I don't want to speak too hastily.
Yeah, I mean that
I love
one
a pass with 17 mana. Yeah, your turn.
Yeah.
Full grip, 17 mana.
That one game earlier, right, looked like it was pretty heavily favored towards Cassidy, and then Mike just out of nowhere found the line, won the game. So
True.
Don't count anybody out here at this stage. Was that just an attack for 2 and pass back? Oh no.
That's kind of brutal.
Show me the crop rotation.
And there's no way to like mirror shell crab or anything, right? There's not like a blue source in play I'm missing?
No. Yeah, he just has green mana.
What is he holding up? Anything? I guess he's
I
just
see
has nothing to
Bloodright
cast.
Invoker that looked like.
Did you rip a tower?
So 9, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. That's
20,
it?
20. Rolling Thunder is double red though. So
Yeah, we have
22.
it with the Prophetic Prism.
Oh, right.
No, you just need 20.
Totally forgot about that. Yeah. Oh shit.
When my Tron opponent starts tapping 20 mana,
8,
I'm in danger.
9 or 8, 11, 14, 17, 18.
And there we have it.
Our winner.
Congratulations.
Cassidy is our New York City Pauper League champion, getting it in Game 4 of the finals. Oh my God.
Excuse me, I believe we have to get this out of the way. Wow, heck, Tron.
And of course the immediate, this is what I sideboarded in, sideboarded out.
Oh yeah.
Wow,
That's a professional, dude. You gotta get your.
Oh, of course. Now, I always love the post chat. You know, asking your opponent, "What do you think of my sideboarding?" I don't know. It makes you a better player. Yeah. So that does it for the New York City Pauper League Top 8 Showdown. Paige, Jesse, thank you both so much for joining me and lending me some of your day to partake in this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was super.
Yeah. 2060. Yep.
Them and looking forward to seeing them both going forward for future events like this.
Absolutely. It was wow. Sorry, I don't know. It's if you'll both excuse me just while I get a little sappy. 12 weeks ago when the league started, the first week was the week where there were all those LA wildfires, and I just had to, get a little idea. Hey guys, what if we streamed it and like raise some money? I think we ended up raising like $300. The next week I didn't bring the stream set up, and everyone went, "Watch the stream." And I was like, okay. And this scene here in New York City really is something special. It's something I cherish. It's filled with, just everyone is just super friendly, and these are all my friends. So, seeing it all come together into this really super cool moment for me, not just as someone who's really put a lot of investment into trying to grow the scene. A few months ago we would get maybe 8 people. This last Tuesday we had 25. Yeah, it's been super cool. And again, thank you to you both for being here, for just sharing this moment.
Absolutely, and New York City's got a pretty storied history when it comes to Magic in general, right? Neutral ground, huge kick, starting point for a lot of major names, tournaments in general, everything. So it's good to see that tradition keep going here with even with formats like Pauper.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very, very exciting. Very, very cool stuff.
All right. Well, I think I'll just leave it at there. Thank you so much for everyone watching.
No final interviews. We're gonna do some final winner interviews here.
Actually, yeah. Let me go see if Cassidy's available. Just give me 1 second here.
Yeah, sounds like a good. Oh, we got the belt.
Oh hell yeah!
We got the belt, folks.
He better be wearing that in the interview.
Raising it high for sure. So Jesse, how do you feel about Pauper after having watched some of this gameplay?
It seems sick. I love like the combination of like high powered like you're sort of building to something really high powered, but you're not like doing it on turn 1 or 2. I think that's like a really nice balance.
Yeah.
I think I have a lot of frustrations with like how just like how quick it is to put just like the most absurd stuff into play these days. So Pauper seems like the last bastion of true honest Magic,
Sure.
So yeah, unfortunately, just the way I have OBS set up, I can't get a camera for YouTube, but we do have our champion Cassidy with us. Cassidy, say hi.
Hello. Pleasure being on.
Hello.
Hey Cassidy, congratulations.
Thank you. It's
Congratulations on the awesome win.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited.
Cassidy, you said in your player profile that you don't play bad decks. You asked what your
I
What
have
your
no bad
least confident
matchups.
matchup is, you said, yeah, none. I don't play losing decks.
Exactly.
And here I was thinking, oh, really? Not a single bad matchup, and yet here you are.
Can't be any. I also messaged Chris on the side saying combo decks are bad matchups, but apparently that's not true. I beat one of my scariest matchups in the finals. So, true statement. No bad matchups.
You put on a master class at double breath weaponing.
Thank you. Yeah, I was hesitant to bring in the second breath weapon because it didn't kill a lot, but I did think the games would go long enough where it was relevant to have 2 board wipes. That way I could get rid of the board. I think without that, it's a hard losing matchup because they just have so much mana and they have more than me and they're a combo deck, so they can just win out of nowhere, as we've seen in game 3, I believe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So we're
It makes
talking.
total sense to me that you would have, you know, it's not that hard for you to make 6 mana, and you're also good at like finding specific cards. So,
Yep.
yeah, it totally tracks.
Teachings is a great
So,
card.
Cass,
Love that card.
How are you feeling about the Pathetic Prism unbanned now?
Oh, it's great. Great. Thanks, Paige. Love it. So I've been in talks with Raptor56, who's a very good Tron player, for the past like 2 weeks, talking about the deck, and then the ban happened, and our eyes just lit up, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. He took this exact list minus like 2 prohibits, 5 out of league, and I was like, okay, deck list is submitted, easy game. We're just gonna run 7 artifacts, 4 just unbanned cards, and hopefully we'll take it down, and we did.
That's how you do it. Just how we drew it up.
Exactly.
So what card did you just get banned?
We're re-banning Prophetic Prism.
Ah, okay,
Because
got
Tron
it,
is
got
just
it.
too good, apparently.
It is a trial ban.
Yeah, it is a trial ban, so I'll have to enjoy it while it lasts. I'll take my win and go.
Did you have any natural Trons in hand today?
I do not recall. I think
Okay.
1 in the earlier rounds. So
Okay.
a lot of it has been crop rotation. Crop rotation has felt fantastic.
Sure. Yeah, we referred to like 2 Tron and a crop as like GMO Tron. Right?
Sure,
It's not
yeah,
natural, but it's not like unnatural.
Listen, I'll eat any GMO any day, so I'll take it.
All right,
take it.
hey. Any words for the fans, all the adoring people tuned in?
Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for Chris for starting the stream. This has been fantastic. I love the way our scene is blown up. Thank you to Raptor again for all the trial and error you've done and all the talks. I think it was very helpful and we got a win out of it, so I'll take that. Thanks to everyone in New York that plays Pauper and everyone else that came out to support and watch the stream. You guys are fantastic. Without you guys, there's no scene. So I can't wait to jam more locals with you guys. And if you're watching, love you, V.
Cute.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we have to get the fuck out of here.
Trios is starting.
Because, yeah, there is Team Trios Tarkier pre-release 3 minutes ago.
Woohoo! That sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cassidy, what's your clan on Tarkier?
My clan is, I don't know. I think Teemer's gonna be busted with that new saga that makes 2 5/5 rhinos, so
No,
Teemer.
not like
card
like
is insane.
vibe-wise.
Vibe-wise?
Vibe-wise.
No vibes. Probably Esper? I don't know.
Come on. That's not...
Espers, yeah,
not
great
planned.
answer. I knew I liked you.
I played Magic. I don't know the lore. I don't know the shards. Whatever.
Esper's
right.
great. Esper's the right answer.
Okay, fine. We'll allow it. We'll allow it.
take it.
Jesse Robkins says Essie is Esper is the right answer, so it is.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Congratulations, Cassidy.
Congratulations.
Thank you both.
All right. I'm gonna sign off. Everyone, be kind to your neighbor. Go bake some cookies. Free Palestine. Death before detransition. Let's fucking get it. See you, everyone.
Yeah, free
Oh, yeah.
Palestine.